Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing new cozy mysteries for the month of April. I have 17 new releases for you today, so we have quite the list, and I also have some animations I made for a couple of these sprinkled throughout the video, so definitely stay tuned for those. They're very fun, I think. And let's go and hop into our first book. Our first book is one of my most anticipated releases for the year, and that is Fateful Words, a Scottish bookshop mystery. This is book 8 in the series, written by Paige Shelton, and this will be coming out on April 4th. So basically we have an American, Delaney, who has moved out to Scotland, and she has this eccentric boss named Edwin who owns all of these fabulous bookish treasures and a bookshop, and it's a lot of fun. It's one of my favorite series. And basically he has asked her to take over for him on this yearly literary tour around Edinburgh because he's on a secret trip somewhere for business. But on the first night of the tour, at the inn where the tour group is staying, the inn manager falls or is pushed off the roof of the inn and killed. Then one of the tour members disappears, leaving a trail of puzzles in her wake. In a huge race against the clock, Delaney sets out on an expedition of her life, following clues around Edinburgh to get to the bottom of the mystery and to try to find the tour member and also to solve who was behind all of this. So she's exploring sites from the Greyfriars Bobby, the Royal Mile, the Sir Walter Scott Monument, and she's got to put everything together or the bookstore survival will also be on the line as well as her own. So I'm very excited for this. Delaney's a really delightful, spunky, fun character, very well read. She hears bookish voices, which I think is fun, and I'm very excited for this book, so this is definitely a top one for me. Next we have another bookish cozy from the Beyond the Page mystery series. This is book 9 in the series. It's called Dedication to Murder, written by Lauren Elliot, and it will be coming out on the 25th. So this one sounds very fun. Basically our main character in this, Addie, is preparing for her wedding. You can see her dress on the cover here, and she is very excited, thinking about the groom, getting excited, and she's trying to clear out her attic, and she comes across a very rare copy of the Velveteen Rabbit, which she's very excited about as a bookstore owner and book lover. But when she opens it, she finds a handwritten inscription from a family member, and it unravels this really big family mystery, which I love cold cases and family mysteries, down the family tree, so this just sounds super fun to me. The pet on the front is super cute, and I have read one book from this series. It wasn't my all-time favorite, but I want to read more. I think the one I read was just kind of maybe not the best in the series, so I want to give this a try. Let me know what you think. The next one we have is actually a cozy mystery collection from 15 different cozy mystery writers. It's called The Little Shop of Murder, and this will be coming out on April 1st, and it contains bookshops, boutiques, small businesses, all types of cozy mysteries, all types of walks of life and everything. A lot of popular authors in this. Some of the ones that I recognized include Diane Kelly, Millie Ravensworth, and Debbie Young, but there's a huge group of authors who've written this together, and a nice thing about this is that all the profits for the publisher and the authors are actually going to a children's charity. It doesn't specifically say on Amazon which one, but I will have all the links down below for you to check out. So I just wanted to include this collection here in case you like to read short stories as well. This next one is going to make you hungry. It's called Death by Chocolate Pie, a Death by Chocolate mystery. It's book 6 in the series, written by Sarah Graves, and it will be coming out on the 25th. So I have actually read, I think, the first 2 or so from this series. I kind of want to restart it now, especially with how cute this cover is. But this takes place in Maine. So you basically have summer in Eastport, which means lobsters and blueberries and tourists and locals. There's always a lot of baked goods as well at the Chocolate Mousse, which is where our main character Jacobia, or Jake Tiptree, and Ellie White work. They're amateur sleuths and they also love their chocolate, but this year has an art festival with games, food, local musicians, and more sweet-toothed customers. Unfortunately, there's also some competition from a new rival, Choco's, that's trying to take a slice of the action and the profits. And the owner of Choco, Brad Fairway, is pulling some sneaky stunts to try to take away the Moose patrons to his own shop. And Ellie confronts him about this and his dirty tactics. Unfortunately, Brad is found dead the next day, and the weapon is a gun that belongs to Ellie. So she's basically panicking because she's getting ready to be charged with the crime because her weapon was used and she had this public outburst with this person. So Jake, the main character, and her best friend Ellie, who run the Chocolate Mousse together, are working together to clear Ellie's name and to find out who actually hurt the other competitor. I love this, the Death by Chocolate theme. I mean, what more can I ask for, really, in a cozy? And the cover again is just darling. Let me know if you've read this series. I liked it, but I don't remember loving it. It was kind of hit or miss for me, but I kind of want to give another one in the series a try. Let me know your thoughts on the series. Our next one is coming out on April 27th, and this is part of the Campers Criminal and Cozy Mystery series. It's book 31 in the series, written by Tonya Kappes, and it's called Hammocks, Handguns, and Hearsay. So unfortunately, I really can't tell you much about this particular book. It just says Southern Hospitality with a smidge of homicide on it, but the cover is right here. The series in general takes place with a main character who is on the road constantly in her camper, from what I understand, and they have a lot of seasonal and holiday themed releases that I'm always talking about in these videos, so I wanted to include it on the list in case you're a fan of it, but there isn't really a full-fledged description of the book yet. Next we have a historical fiction cozy mystery. It's called Murder on Bedford Street, a Gaslight mystery. It's book 26 in the series, which is written by Victoria Thompson, and this will be coming out on the 25th. So this one sounds really interesting. We have midwife Sarah and her husband, who's a private investigator, and he's recently taking on a client that he's not very happy about because the client is very difficult to deal with, but he's taking the case on for the sake of the victim, which is the client's niece, who has been falsely committed to an insane asylum by her husband Chet. And Chet has, for whatever reason, gotten her into this asylum, won't let her out. She doesn't need like the medical attention, like he's forced her in against her will, and she's also left behind a young son with her husband Chet. And as Sarah and her husband dig into this case, they discover that there's some other strange happenings at Chet's household, including a maid who mysteriously died, and they also suspect that his son might be in danger from like his actual dad. So they start to really dig into this case to try to free the niece and also save her son and get them away from this awful man, basically. So I'm really excited for this. I love the historical fiction aspect, and the case itself is very interesting. And yeah, I thought this one sounded really cool. Let me know what your thoughts are. This next one I talked about in a recent new Cozy Mystery Series video, so this is the first in a new series. It's called Eat, Drink, and Drop Dead, a Tiffany Austin food blogger mystery. Book 1 in the series, it's written by Toni LoTempio, and it will be coming out on April 4th. So this one was really fun. I included it in that series video, and I'll link it above if you want to check it out. But basically we have an Austin food blogger. I already love the profession there. And food critic and blogger Tiffany Austin loves her job. She thinks it's the best job in the world. She gets to eat for a living, but she's a little bit worried because she also writes for Southern Style magazine, and her trial period is up at the magazine, and rumors are starting to swirl that the management at the magazine is choosing between Tiffany and a rival writer at the magazine, the ambitious Jenny Lee Plum. So former chef Tiffany knows she has a big battle on her hands. Unfortunately, her rival's body is discovered after the two have a big argument, and she finds herself the prime suspect in a murder investigation. She's not ready to go down for a crime she didn't commit, so assisted by her best friend Ellery, her Siamese cat Lily, and her King Charles puppy Cooper, Tiffany starts her own investigation to clear her name. After all, she does have a degree from the CIA, which is the Culinary Institute of America, and she's not afraid to use it, but can she find the real killer before she's served up to the cops on a silver platter? I thought this just sounded so much fun, and I love the food critic blogger element. I'm seeing more books like that, and I think it's just really fun. So this one again is one that I'm definitely very excited for, and let's go and move on to our next one. Next we have another food cozy mystery, one of my favorites, and this one is a pizza one. It's called Ashes to Ashes, Crust to Crust. It's a deep dish mystery, book 2 in the series, written by Mindy Quigley, and it will be coming out on April 25th. I just recently bought the first book in the series called 6 Feet Deep Dish, and I'm actually reading it right now, so I'm excited for book 2, and we have the cat Butterball on the cover, which is really cute. Alright, so our main character in this is named Delilah O'Leary, and she is a pizza owner. She is newly single after having some issues with her fiance. Her fiance left her Butterball, a big boned cat, as the description puts it, and basically things are going okay, but she really needs some more money for her business and just her lifestyle in Wisconsin. So she decides to join this big Taste of Wisconsin contest to try to win some like cash prize. Unfortunately, her ex-fiance is cozying up to one of her competitors who is a juice bar owner, and when one of the juice bar owner's clients is poisoned, all eyes turn to Delilah. So she is back on a case, and along with her cantankerous aunt and her cat and her best friend, she's going to solve this case and put another one to rest, basically. basically if there's pizza involved, you can get me to read the book. So this one looks great to me. I'm really enjoying the first book so far. Cannot wait to get to it. We have another bookish cozy mystery series. This one is called Death by Iced Coffee, a bookstore cafe mystery. This is book 11 in the series. It's written by Erickson, and this will be coming out on April 25th. So we have our main character in this named Chrissy, who is a bookshop owner in Ohio, and she loves to read, but she doesn't love to run so much. But she decides to join this running marathon to just get active, get outside, and she's really regretting it because it's hot out, it's sweaty, it's not fun. You know, most people don't want to run a marathon. I'm one of those people. And unfortunately, when she's out there running the marathon, she actually finds someone passed out from what she thinks is heat stroke. But when she looks closer at this person, she realizes they actually have strangulation marks, red marks on their neck. So she realizes that there is foul play involved. So she starts to dig into the case, especially for the sake of her friend Rita, whose boyfriend seems to be involved in this person's life. The person that was found dead also has a lot of cheating, both financially and romantically in their life. So they have a laundry list of people that would have wanted this person dead. So Chrissy is way overwhelmed with how many things she has to deal with, how many suspects she's going through, but she's determined to find out who did it and solve this crime once and for all. Also, how cute is the cat on this cover? I love the cat next to iced coffee. He looks so chill. I love it. It's so cute. Releasing on the 25th, we have Paper Cuts, a secret book and Scone Society novel, book 6 in the series, written by Ellery Adams. So in this series, we have our bookshop owner, Nora, and she lives in North Carolina, and she has quite the past. A while ago, she had an ex who left her for another woman, but she's over it, things are going okay, until that woman, Kelly, walks in her doors one day, and she's shocked when she finds out that Kelly actually recently has been dumped herself, and she's also ill, and she wants to make amends. She really is asking Nora for forgiveness about what happened with the whole cheating situation. Unfortunately, I think they get into a little bit of a fight or something like that. There's some witnesses, and Kelly is found dead. We're not sure if it's from an illness or foul play, but rumors are starting to circulate. It's not looking great for Nora because of this being her, a big scandal in her past, basically. So she is looking into the case, trying to clear her name and find out what actually happened to this poor woman. I've heard a lot of good things about this series. I haven't read it personally, but I really need to get to it because it sounds right up my alley. Next one, we have a quilting cozy mystery series. This one sounded really fun. It's called Threading Trouble, a quilting cozy mystery, book 4 in the series. It's written by Kathryn Mykel, and it will be coming out on April 6th. So Alex Bailey is our main character in this, and she is a quilter. She owns a quilting shop, and basically she has more questions than answers with her life currently, but she does get an invitation to a theater dedication in her Nona's name, and so she and Charlotte go to Georgia. Unfortunately, they run into another murder mystery, and she's also receiving unwanted help from a troublesome partner in crime. Charlotte also sees an opportunity to take control of her own life, but between all of this drama with the people in her life and the murder and the theater dedication, there's just a whole lot of messiness going on, and she's trying to figure out if she can deliver her lines and catch the culprit before the final act. I haven't personally read this series, but I do kind of find the sewing, cozy, quilty themes. I find them kind of fun, even though it's not a personal hobby of mine, and I thought the cover for this was really cute. Let me know your thoughts on that. Releasing on April 30th, we have a high society murder, Lady Marigold's 1920s murder mystery. This is book 2 in the series, written by Ava Ness. So our main character in this is a very feisty, fun woman. Her name is Lady Marigold Grey, and she's a former British spy and daring adventuress, which I already love. And this case involves a 10-year-old case. So she recently inherits this estate or property, and the butler on the property discovers human remains, which brings up a whole lot of questions. So Lady Marigold starts to poke her nose around and tries to investigate. Unfortunately, whoever did it is in on knowing that she's poking her nose around and is after her in the process. This just sounded really fun. I love the cover for this. 1920s is such a great decade, I think, for books. I think it's really fun, the setting, and I loved her outfit on the cover. Unfortunately, along all of this as well, on top of the human remains, a decadent dinner party also turns deadly that she's hosting, and it's just a mess. Everything is going downhill. The killer is on her heels. She's got to fix these issues like right away basically. Also, I love the art style on this. It's a really like unique art style for the cover, and I really enjoy it. I think it's really beautifully done. Our next book comes out on April 18th. It's called A Wealth of Deception, a Scandal Mountain Antiques Mystery Series. It's written by Trish Esden, and it's coming out on April 18th, like I said. So this one actually takes place with like an art themed mystery. So our main character in this is named Eddie, and she's like an antique and like arts dealer, and she discovers this collage that is rumored to be by this like renowned artist named Vespa. However, when she's investigating the authenticity of the piece, she starts to unravel some really dark secrets, and the artwork itself, I guess, is very dark or disturbing in some ways. So she's questioning the authenticity, she's looking into it, she's finding things she didn't want to know about. So she teams up with Uncle Tuck and Kayla to try to really look into the validity of the piece. Unfortunately, she stumbles upon this like art underground like world where people are selling pieces and things, and people are willing to kill to keep her out of it and to keep other people who might want to shut the place down out of it. So this one sounded very interesting to me. Like, I really love heist and like theft related crimes in books. I always find them very interesting, especially like artwork. So this sounded interesting. I haven't read anything by this author. Let me know if you have. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. This next one just looked like too much fun. It's called The Dead End Tour, a French Quarter mystery. It's the French Quarter Mysteries, book 5 in the series, written by Jen Pitts. It is coming out on April 14th. So we have our main character in this named Samantha Richardson, or Sammy, and she lives in the French Quarter, and she's going on like a tour, and the French Quarter tour guides really like to tell tales about vampires, but of course Sammy is like, of course there's no vampires, it's just like a legend, you know, nothing, you know, she doesn't think much of it, right? Until later on she finds somebody with like vampire bites on their neck, and then she starts to really freak out and worry that there is some validity to this statement. And unfortunately the killer won't stop. So after she found that first body with the vampire bites, they just won't seem to stop, and she's got to really like pick up the pace and find out what happened before more bodies are found. I'm thinking this one might be a slight like paranormal cozy mystery just from like the description and the cover, but I couldn't for sure confirm that. Let me know if you know, but I thought it sounded really interesting, and I think the covers on here are perfect. It gives me Halloween and like fall vibes especially. This next one has the cutest cat in the cover. It's called Cinnamon Twisted, a Deputy Donut Mystery. This is written by Ginger Bolton, and it's coming out on April 25th. Our main character in this is named Emily Westhill, and she is the Deputy Donut Cafe's owner, and she thinks she has it all. She has a cute tabby cat by her side, she's got cinnamon twist powdered to perfection, and a murderer on her case, unfortunately. So it's a late spring afternoon at the cafe, and unfortunately it's one that's going to remain forever in her memory because a customer gives Emily's cat a toy donut and then flees the cafe, leaving an earring in her panic. Unfortunately, Emily tries to give back the earring, like she runs after the person to give her the earring, but the customer doesn't have a pulse. And things get even more crazy when an ambitious police officer finds the earring in an unsealed envelope addressed to Emily at the murder scene. This envelope has a cryptic letter and a fading photograph of a woman standing in front of Emily's house. So she has no idea why this would be. She's really confused. So she's trying to figure out, why did the customer grab her cinnamon twists and flee the cafe? The detective is looking at Emily as a prime suspect, and she's really determined to clear her name. But it gets even worse when a donut-shaped murder weapon is discovered in her own backyard, and she has absolutely no time to lose before she gets put behind bars, basically, and loses her cat, loses her cafe, loses it all. I love the idea of a donut-themed cozy mystery. Like, this has been something I've been missing. I did read one a while back. I think it was by Jessica Beck. I'll put a picture on the screen, and it wasn't my favorite. It was okay. But this one's really good. I love the idea of a donut chopped one. So this one sounds really good. I love the cute cat on the cover and the idea of the photograph and like the cryptic note in the envelope. Just, I love elements like that. I think this one sounds really interesting. Alright, next we have one by Leanna Clover. This is coming out on April 4th. It's called Sail Away Patsy, a Cruise Cozy Murder Mystery. This is book 1 in the Cruise Ship Cozy Mystery series. Our main character in this is named Meg Butler. Our main character in this one is a starry-eyed intern named Meg Butler, and she is described as being a little impulsive. Sometimes she speaks before she thinks, and she can be a little smug sometimes, is how the author has described her. Unfortunately, she has taken a new job as a cruise ship intern, and she's very excited to travel around the world. Unfortunately, she accidentally poisons everyone during the sail away party. Not fatally, I'm assuming, but just, you know, gets everyone like food poisoning, and her boss thinks she does it on purpose and is ready to like send her home. But she manages to stay on the cruise ship and things are going okay. Unfortunately, a healthy young man is soon after found dead in his cabin, and Meg thinks there's actually foul play involved. She doesn't think it's an accident or like a freak medical thing. So Meg is putting together clues while she is sailing across Alaska on this boat, and while her boss is like watching over her after the incident with the sail away party. This one just sounded fun. I like the idea of a cruise ship setting just because it's a pretty closed setting overall, and it's just kind of fun, I think, with all the different places the cruise ship could be going. And it sounds like Meg can be maybe a little bit of an unlikable protagonist, but this is described as a very humorous and action-packed cozy, so if that is your thing, you might really enjoy this. Last but not least, we have a paranormal cozy mystery. This one is called Witchy Awakening, a small town paranormal cozy mystery. This is part of the Midlife Potions cozy mystery. It is book 1 in the series, written by C.A. Phipps. And this one just has a lot of interesting elements, I think. I feel like most of the witchy and paranormal cozies I've seen are with like very like young women usually, but this one actually takes place with a woman who's in like kind of the middle of her life, and she has recently lost her mother in a really sad way, and her talking cat so there we start with the cat on the cover, I'm assuming, has started to talk to her and tell her some interesting things. She also discovers she's a witch. And up until this point, she had no idea that she was a witch or had any type of like magical abilities. So that's quite the shock to find out in the middle of your life, I would imagine, to just, that's quite the realization for anyone, but especially after like a couple decades of not knowing this, I'd find that to be pretty odd. Unfortunately, she also lives in a small town and another unusual death occurs. So now she's kind of investigating, she's working with her talking cat, she's trying to uncover some clues and just trying to figure out what is going on with her life, basically, with the witch and the mysterious deaths and everything. And that is everything for this video. I can't believe we just went through 17 different cozy mysteries. I tried to keep it succinct, but let me know down below what are the most interesting cozy mystery releases to you. Which one of these are you most excited for? Did I miss any that you're very excited for that are coming out in April? Let me know down below in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I do post new book videos every single week on this channel. I do a cozy mystery release video every single month as well, so if you're into cozy mysteries, you'll definitely find plenty of content like that on my channel. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!